Welcome once again, viewers, to the Manifest Direction, a channel where we get your feedback on issues that are worrying you, burning your minds, and then we try to address them in a professional mentorship type way. In the corporate world and in the world of politics, one thing that has agitated the minds of people is delegation. Some people feel delegation is something that should be done and encouraged in the workplace. Some feel that delegation should not be encouraged in the workplace. So today we'll talk about delegation and its advantages, its disadvantages, and the principles that make it work where you embrace it. First of all, what is delegation? Delegation means to share with someone, an appointee, a subordinate, to share with someone tasks that you are accountable for, or to assign to someone the tasks that ultimately you are accountable for. That's delegation. So for instance, the CEO of a bank is responsible for hiring employees, but he does that through the human resources manager. It's a delegated task to the human resources manager, but the CEO ultimately is responsible for the whole staff strength and recruitment for the organization. Having understood what delegation is, we will jump straight into the advantages of delegation. When you delegate, when you share tasks and assign tasks to people, you take advantage of their specialized skills. So you have a communications expert, someone who's been trained in mass communication. He knows how to write and edit. He knows ICT. He knows those communication type gadgets. That you are the boss, that you are the overall head, doesn't mean you have those skills. So you take advantage of the skills that that person has to assign him the tasks that are necessary in his bucket of skills to execute. So it's an advantage. He executes it better. He uses the skill that he has studied, he has learned, he has experienced over time. So that is an advantage. Now, you improve time management. Where the person is a specialist, he does the job faster than you if you are not a specialist in that area. That saves time, and it allows you to focus on the bigger challenges, other challenges of the organization. So overall, you improve time management when you delegate. Of course, you build trust at work when you delegate. Everyone wants to be part of the success story of an organization or a place or a dispensation, an assignment if you like. So if you delegate tasks and people do it and there is success, you share in the glory. That builds trust at workplace. It shows that you, the boss, you trust the people that you work with, and they also feel that you trust them, and they try to improve such that the organization overall benefits. Those are the advantages of delegation. But of course, there is a school of thought that says we shouldn't delegate, we should micromanage everything, we should do ourselves and make sure we do ourselves. And such a school cites the disadvantages of delegation to buttress their stand. One, you still retain accountability. Even if you delegate tasks to people, you are the overall boss, so you retain accountability. If you are a leader and you have people in certain areas, for instance, customer service, if you are in the bank and you have customer service department headed by somebody who is well trained in that area, and there is customer service failure, ultimately your board of directors will hold you accountable for that failure that has made customers to leave the bank. So people say that if you are going to hold me accountable, let me then do these things myself. That is an argument that they give. Also, you risk inferior results. If you are very good in an area and you hand it down to Fred to do things in that area and he is not very good, you are risking inferior results. Or you will have to go back, sit with Fred, micromanage him, teach him, so you are wasting time if you don't want to risk inferior results. Or Fred will just bring those results to you and you will have to take them, and it's a failure. So people who don't like delegation say that they don't want to risk inferior results. Also, perfectionist expectations. We have leaders that have very high expectations. Nobody is perfect, by the way, so the leaders themselves are not perfect, but they expect the people they've delegated tasks to be perfect. So the disadvantage there is that whenever the work is turned back, is churned out, the people find fault, because of their orientation of expecting a perfect work. There is no perfect work. You work to improve. Every work has work in progress. So you take it to improve per time. So, but those people who opt out of delegation say that their expectations, their standards are very high and they won't be met if they delegate work. Also, there is a lack of commitment and passion. If you are a governor, for instance, if we go into the political space, you have a passion to lead. You campaigned, you made promises to the people. You are in a hurry to deliver on those promises. Your appointees may not share in that commitment or passion that you have. So you delegate work to them, it's business as usual. They coast along. So it fails, and then you take ultimate responsibility. You promised us this, but you didn't do. So people say that because of lack of commitment by others, the lack of passion by others, they don't want to delegate work to them. They want to hold back their work. People who shy away from delegation also cite that a lot, lack of commitment or passion. And then there is lack of authority. Sometimes you delegate and you don't give authority. So you give someone a task. For instance, in this department, he needs to mix, he needs the input of other departments. But you don't give him that authority to go around and collect with an air of respect from the other department heads. That can be disadvantageous, the lack of authority. Sometimes you delegate tasks, you need to give financial autonomy and authority as well, financial budgets. Most people want you to do the job, they don't want to give you the power to write the check. And so they cite abuse and so on. So it becomes a disadvantage cited by those who don't want to delegate. Now, having looked at the pros and cons, the advantages and the disadvantages, what is the safe way to handle delegation? If you ask me, delegation is very good. It's very good because it clearly develops even the people you've delegated to. When you give them work and they work, you develop them. Over time, they improve in the areas that they were weak before. So I support delegation. How can it then work? What are the principles for effective delegation? You should determine what you will delegate. First of all, sit down and say, these are the tasks that I have. This one I will hold myself, this one I can delegate. So sit and do that exercise and determine scientifically, objectively, what you will delegate. Know it up front. Then choose the people to delegate to correctly. Choose the right people to delegate to. Don't use filial considerations. You are related to someone, so you delegate this job because this one has more meat in it. No. Don't use chronism. But choose the right person because of skill, because of experience. the right person that you will delegate to. That way you have done effective delegation. After that, you should clearly define the responsibility and authority of that person. When you delegate, define clearly upfront the responsibility and authority of the person you are delegating to. So there is no ambiguity. So they don't call you to adjudicate every time there is a dispute. When people know that these are the responsibilities, this is the authority, there is less friction at the workplace. So clearly define it upfront. Then define the desired results. This delegation that I'm doing, what are my expectations? What do I want to achieve? Define it upfront. So the person who is taking over those assigned tasks knows that these are the expectations, these are the desired results. And every time you check and he has met and exceeded them, you commend him. If he hasn't met them, he knows that he's falling short of the desired results. And lastly, follow up. Don't delegate to abdicate. Some people delegate to abdicate. They delegate and then they take their eyes off the delegated task. No. Establish touch points. Establish follow up. Check. So this thing you were supposed to do one month ago, how far have you gone? Where are we on this? 6 months into time, 1 year, check. Establish touch points. At what point will you ask to follow up what the person has done? You should be open with your criticism, with your expectations, but don't make it personal. So if somebody, for instance, fails to do a task that was delegated to him, it may not be because the person is stupid. If you chose him rightly, like we said before, it may not be because he's stupid, but maybe because he's not trained enough in the handling of that task. So you train people formally and informally, you counsel them, you mentor them to meet your expectations. If you follow these principles of effective delegation, I assure you, you will find delegation as something very useful in the workplace. Thank you.